Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to be talking about how a mentorship student was able to go and close about 2250 per month from LinkedIn alone. So we're just going to kind of jump into this thing. We're going to kind of dive in. So let's kind of jump into this thing. So the first thing that you have to have is you have to have a really good LinkedIn profile. Now, when I say a good LinkedIn profile, a lot of people kind of get a little bit afraid or fearful with it. Now, a LinkedIn profile needs to have basically what you do. It needs to be very, very, very repetitive. It needs to be repetitive in three places. So the first place is your tagline. The second place that needs to repeat itself is inside of the about section. The third place that needs to repeat itself is inside of the experience section when you're talking about your business. Now, most people really struggle with this because they don't really know how to talk about themselves and their business in a way that really makes things go. An easy way would just be, bookkeeping business owner, or accounting business owner, or virtual CFO. Now, in the about section, you're going to need to describe what you do. First thing I always like to describe, like, how long have you been in business or how long have you been inside the field for? Next is, where are your current clients located, or where are you thinking about, your new clients are going to be located? After that, inside of the about section, I would actually have, like, what are the different apps and different tools and different software that you are familiar with, so that the business owner who's watching it can actually see, okay, cool. So oh, she does QuickBooks. Okay, cool. I use QuickBooks as well. Sorry for my collar being messed up, but just really, really easy for them to identify that. Then also in the end of the about section, make sure you have a link for someone to book a call with you. So if you have like a Calendly or a scheduled ones or an Acuity link, make sure you can actually put it in there. Like for example, if you look at my video right now, it says like, do you want to see if I can help you out? But then there's also a link. This is the same link that you would put inside of your profile so that somebody can just click on the link, they can book a call with you, and it's very easy for you to start getting leads on your profile. The reason why is because LinkedIn, when you're making a new profile and the more connections you have, the more it starts to send basically your profile out to the world. So there's going to be a lot of people who are looking at your LinkedIn profile, even though you don't know they exist, even though you've never spoken to them, even though they have no reason why they should have ever come in contact with you, but they will. So if you don't have any way for them to book a call with you very easily, it's just not going to happen. So make sure you add that inside of your profile so that it's very easy. The same thing inside of the experience section. Okay, make sure you have a link to book a call inside of there. And whenever we talk about repetition, so notice how I said in three places you're going to talk about what you do. Okay, in your tagline, in your about section, and also in your experience sections. The reason why is because most people they don't really understand what you do as an accountant or as a bookkeeper or as a CFO. Like they just don't know, and it's not that they're dumb. It's not. It's just they just don't know. So each time that you can repeat yourself and then go into slightly more detail about what you do and how you help, it makes it so much easier for them to digest this. And once they've been able to digest it, now they'll start coming to you and actually asking for your advice, recommendations, and even booking calls on your calendar right off you just send them a connection request. Number two, okay, you have to identify who are your target markets. Oh, are you going to go the industry route? Are you going to go more the niche route? Are you going to go more after local businesses that you already have a relationship or that you know about or that you see on your way to maybe your job or you're just very familiar with? Depending on what route you're going to take is going to really cause you to look for a different person. For example, if you have like a niche and you know your niche is like, we'll say it's photographers. Okay, well then you need to start going and doing a couple different things. But the first thing you have to know is like, who are we searching for? Now, once you know who you're searching for, there's generally about three different ways that we like to use LinkedIn in order to go and grow your business. Number one is going to be about the joining LinkedIn groups. So let's talk about LinkedIn groups. So LinkedIn groups are they're a very interesting thing because there's not a lot of engagement inside of a LinkedIn group the same way that there's an engagement on a Facebook group. But what a LinkedIn group allows you to do is it allows you to see like who are the targets and who are the people that are inside of your industry. So that once you can see that, now you can start having really good conversations with them. You can even direct message them because you're inside of the group and you don't have to wait until you can send a friend request. So it makes it very easy for you to be able to find them. That's why the step before this was about identifying who you're trying to speak to, right? Because there's groups in your local area on LinkedIn. There's groups for a specific target market. There's groups for specific industries. And once you know who that is, now you can start going and joining those groups, and then those groups allow you to be able to contact the individuals very quickly without them having to be like on your friends list or even accepting your friend request. It's a very, very underrated aspect of LinkedIn that not many people know about. And it's going to cause you, if you just started a LinkedIn account, maybe only have 100 connections, you can still contact 1,000 people because you're inside the same groups with those individuals. LinkedIn, okay? So there's going to be three ways, even within LinkedIn, after you've joined these groups, that you can actually utilize it to go and grow your business really quickly and really fast. Okay, so path number one is the referral path. So the student in particular who we're talking about, the one who just got $750 per month client, a $1,500 per month client, she actually got a $2,800 per month client from a referral. So based on LinkedIn, what she was doing was she was targeting people who are in related industries. So like consultants, CPAs, other bookkeepers, financial advisors, and some insurance agents as well. But those five main industries, and she was just building relationships with them. And over time, as new opportunities came up, or they met someone who needed her service, they would actually refer the people to her. Now, if you're just getting started and you need to make money really quickly, or if you're just kind of anxious about getting your first client, this path would not necessarily be the fastest way because it does take you having two sales. So the first sale is you have to actually go and get in the referral partner's good graces. But the second sale is once you get the referral, which could be, months, weeks, days after you meet that person and close that first sale, then you have to do your second sale. And then from that second sale, it could take even longer because you have to go and really follow up with that person if your sales skills are not the best. However, I do generally like the referral path after you start getting some traction. So if you already have a couple clients and you're not really hurting for money, the referral path is the easiest way for you to go from like maybe $3,000 a month to more like $10,000 to $15,000 a month. A good example is like JT. So every single quarter, JT does a presentation for a couple different LinkedIn and Facebook communities from a business consultant who owns it and just really liked him and just said, hey, can you please help us out and just teach us more about this? So then once that happened, every quarter he's able to go in there and then she just refers business to him and the people who are on that call automatically come and sign up for his accounting service. Now, let's go down to the next one. The next one is going to be the connection request path. Okay, so the connection request path is a very, very straightforward path. This is the one I generally recommend if you need some traction in your business, if you need to get clients really quickly, and if you need to start making money in a hurry. Okay, because it's very direct. You're going and you're hunting for people who are automatically looking for this help. Now, the way that you can kind of really understand whether or not they need help is by using a program called Sales Navigator. It allows you to be able to filter LinkedIn, to use it more like a CRM or a list of people who meet your target criteria than just kind of like a Facebook or an Instagram kind of social media. So it's a little bit more direct and a little bit more targeted. Now, the reason why this thing is really cool is because you can actually go and build your own lead list for free. So what you need to do is, again, going back, are you going after a niche, an industry, or local? If you're going after local, for example, you can just type in businesses near me on Google, or flower shops near me on Google, or construction companies near me, or plumbers near me on Google, and Google is going to return a list of these different companies to you. Okay, so they just built your lead list for you. From there, you can go into their company websites and go into the About page on their company website. For many of them, they're going to have something about like their founder or their current CEO or their C-suite, or if they don't really have a C-suite, it's just the owner and like a business partner. You'll be able to see those for the most part. And then once you're able to see them, go and friend them on LinkedIn. Okay, now if you've done your research correctly and you know there's a person you can help, then it's time for you to start building a relationship with them from there. Now, what you're going to start noticing is if you're doing this really well and if you write a really good connection message, a lot of them won't even need to be sold to because they will literally accept your connection request and say, hey, I've been looking for this position. I've been looking for some help in this area. Can we please help me out? For example, today, someone booked a call on my calendar and it was just an optometrist who was looking for some help with their bookkeeping. And we were just like, cool, man. So tell me a little bit more, tell me a little bit more, tell me a little bit more. And that came from a LinkedIn connection. And it was just really, really easy, very, very smooth, right? A lot of people don't like LinkedIn because it's too easy, Bryce. That's just way too easy to be true. But when you know how to go and select the right people and you know how to get in front of the right audience, growing the business is very, very easy. Like, for example, in this example, the $750 per month client came from actually this method. right? The person, she just connected with them on LinkedIn. The person like, hey, I've been looking for this thing. I just didn't really know who to turn to. Can we maybe schedule a call, see if you can help me? She goes, yeah. Then she charged them $700 or $750 per month. Cool. So the final path is going to be about comment path. Comment. So you're going to be able to go into either hashtags or LinkedIn groups around industries, topics, or interests. And once you're there, you're going to just start interacting with the different business owners. So they're oftentimes going to be either asking for advice, or they're going to say like posting memes, or they're going to say something funny, or they're going to write out some kind of thing they're interested in. Your job is to start going and interacting with them. Like, congratulations on your work anniversary. Great job building this company. Great job getting this new contract. Oh, that's an awesome project you're working on. Oh, what inspired you to do this? If they're like a life coach, be like, hey, tell me about one of your best students. Just whatever you have to do to start the conversation and get them to start talking to you. From there, you can just go and send a friend request to them, and you already have an into the conversation, right? Because they're already talking to you, they already like you. And once they accept that connection request, from there, you can just keep talking until they reveal they have a need that's worth solving. Now, this path, the comment path, is very interesting because if you know who you're looking for and you're automatically targeting the right size businesses, this is actually the most effective path because you don't only have to comment after people who are directly in the industry, you can also go after people who are going to refer you business. And your job is just to go and be one of the most helpful, friendly, and contributing members of the LinkedIn community. Once that happens, they start referring people, they start sending their friends to you, they start asking if you want to do speaking engagements and events. For example, like for me, when I was on LinkedIn probably about 2 years ago, I was just commenting, interacting, saying, wow, this is a great video you made. Wow, it looks like a great company. Wow, it looks like business is booming. And this one lady's like, wow, you're really encouraging. I was like, yeah, thanks. And then she's like, do you want to be on my show? I'm like, what kind of show? Interesting guests who I like, and I really like your vibe. I really resonate with you. Do you mind like coming on the show? And I was like, awesome, let's do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and do a speaking event. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, if you're able to get out there, you're going to have a lot more opportunities start presenting themselves to you, and it's going to be very easy for you to go and grow really quickly. Okay? Now, the next one is going to be about call to action. So, Bryce, so now I have referral partners. Now I have people who are on my LinkedIn. Now I've been doing a lot of comments. How do I get them to want to do a call with me? Okay, it's very simple. So you're going to be asking questions to start really causing them to have their pain points. Oh, are you working with a CPA currently? Oh, you are. Do you have a bookkeeper? Oh, wow. How is that going? Are you happy with your current level of service? Wow, it sounds like business is booming. Like who's watching the books? Who's keeping track of your business's financial progress? Oh, nobody? As soon as you hear them say either nobody, or I'm annoyed with my service, or they're not great, or I'm looking for somebody new, or, I just don't know, or I'm doing it myself, or I'm tired of my spouse doing it, that is when you say the word. Would you like to hop on a call to see if I can help you with your accounting/bookkeeping? Question mark. And then if they've told you all this stuff, if they like you, if they have a need, and if their business is ready for it, then they say yes. From there, you just get them on your calendar, and then you just book them through. A lot of people really overthink that step, and a lot of times because like fear or not really knowing what to say. But that's really what it is. You have to make sure a problem is raised, and once that problem is raised, that means they trust you enough to tell you about their problems. If they trust you enough to tell you about their problems, chances are they'll probably be willing to tell you more about their problems on a consultation call. And if they're willing to tell you their problems on a consultation call, they'll be willing to give you some money to help them solve this problem long term. It's just kind of like just a really smooth path. It's very easy when you kind of allow it to be easy. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is your follow up. Okay, so out of the 7 calls that the student booked in the last week, 3 of those calls came from follow up. So people who had originally said that they already had this thing taken care of, or they didn't really need help, or no thanks. Touch back in January. Don't talk to me right now. 3 of those people were like had originally said something similar to that. And she just sent another message, got him back on the phone, restarted the conversation, got him on the phone. Then she was able to close the deal. And that's the one that paid her about $1,500 per month. It's just from someone who originally said, I already have this thing taken care of. Not right now. Right? And a lot of people, they get really hurt when people kind of reject them online or say, like, it's not a good time or say, don't really message me for a little while, right? And it can be it can really sting when you're first getting started, especially if you don't understand just marketing and sales. But when you start getting really good, you start hearing the word no and instead just thinking next opportunity and just kind of moving forward. It's not that big of a deal. You just have to keep doing it. And then maybe the way that you would follow up, a simple way to follow up is anytime that there's a reason for you to reach out. For example, if they have a birthday, if they have a work anniversary, if they make a post on their LinkedIn page and profile that you really like, if, for example, they like one of your posts, if they go and you see on LinkedIn, you can see who's looked at your profile in the last like 30 days or 60 days, then go and message them and say, hey, thanks for checking out my profile. Hope everything's good. How are things with you? Restart that conversation. Try and get them to talk about their problems and their pains again. And then again, invite them to a call. A lot of times they'll say, not right now. But that's okay. Do it again and again and again and again until they say yes. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned a lot out of this. If you can, write down some of your takeaways inside the comment section below. You can do it after the video or just whenever. Just I want to make sure that like these videos are starting to give you guys some tips and some things you can kind of take away from and be very actionable with this. Because yeah, this stuff is very simple, but it's very straightforward, and this is all you really need in order to be able to go and get to about $10,000 per month. Once you start hitting more like the 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 per month, you're probably going to need a little bit more of advanced training as far as how to start building a team, how to start automating the sales process, how to really start doing the marketing. We have a mastermind program called the Abundant Accounting Pro, and that's where we take people who are like about $12,000 a month and want to go more like to $30,000 a month. Now, if you're not quite there yet, if you're just getting started and you're trying to grow your business, but you want some help and you want to be able to just jumpstart towards your goal in the shortest time period possible without having to make all the mistakes that cause most business owners to fail, go ahead and click on the link either above or below the video to book a call with me, okay? On the call, let's like look at where are you right now. Then let's see where do you want to go, and then if I think I can help you out, I'm going to look like, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what this actually looks like for you to win the battle of life in this business. And then if it makes sense, we can even work together long term to accomplish that goal together. So hopefully I see you on the call. If not, if you're not quite ready, keep absorbing some of this content inside of the group. Go check out my YouTube channel because it has so much content on there about growing your business. And I can't wait to see you in the future. Hopefully have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.